Welcome to Moonbase 2.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Moonbase 2 podcast with me, Andy, Corporate Commander TFW. And I'm joined this week by the man who's obsessed with another planet, another plane of existence called Midgard. It's Mikey G. Wolf B3. Hello, Mikey.
Did you say Midgard?
Yes.
I heard today they might have gotten the rights back for Hulk, and then I saw someone say I want a Professor Hulk movie, and I lost all reason for being.
I actually didn't know that they couldn't do a singular standalone Hulk movie. I thought that there were excuses just going around that no one wants to see a single Hulk movie.
Well, that's what they were saying before it came out that they couldn't do the rights.
Oh, really? What? Who had the rights to do the
Paramount.
singles? Oh, really?
So Paramount back in day with Hulk. Remember Hulk,
Oh, the Ang Lee one or the other one?
the Ang Lee one?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They had the license for it, and then when they were doing Incredible Hulk, they made a deal.
Right.
That deal fell through in the long term.
Ah,
The way it ended up was that they ultimately agreed that Paramount could control, I think it was Paramount anyway, could control single Hulk movies, but the Hulk as a character could be used in team up movies and stuff.
oh,
like
so it's kind of like the Sony Spider-Man kind of idea. Okay.
that. Yeah,
I
yeah,
didn't
except not publicized.
know that.
So that's why Planet Hulk got fucked over as a storyline,
Oh, right.
because the only way they could do Planet Hulk would be doing it in a movie that wasn't about the Hulk.
Hmm.
So now they're saying that they've got the rights. They may have gotten the rights back to the Hulk and can do solo movies, but what are they going to do with it? 'Cause...
He's got his little crippled arm now.
Yeah, because that makes sense.
Yeah, that's how the Hulk works.
The thing is, like, at this stage, I'd kind of be thinking about Mark Ruffalo being recast.
Oh, why?
One, bit of fresh energy to the role,
Okay.
and two, he. I think otherwise he'd be basically the last Avenger left on the block, wouldn't he?
I mean,
Everyone else is dead or left. Or fat.
oh, who's fat? Oh, Thor.
Thor,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, well, he'll lose that weight for the next movie he's in because, you know, they got to have the sex appeal there for
As
people.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Did you say ass Guardians?
As Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, I thought you said ass because they were sexy.
No,
Okay.
that's a different movie.
I would much rather watch that movie, to be honest. I think I'd enjoy the story more at this point.
Oh God!
Tell me I'm wrong.
I don't know. People tell me Thor Ragnarok's good.
Do you tell me it's good?
No, I think it's shit.
Exactly.
I think it's utter shit. I think it's an atrocious movie. It completely spoiled me to Taikiti, whatever his name is.
Oh, Taika Waititi, yeah.
Yeah, like
Same.
everyone says, like he's a visionary director. He can vision off. Him and that
Oh.
weird that weird 10-minute sequence in the last episode of Mandalorian that didn't need to be there.
I
And just
gave up on
demolished the pacing of
Really?
that episode. Like, I think that episode had a few problems. There was just this 10-minute gag section involving some stormtroopers and Baby Yoda, and I'm just like, why the fuck is this even here? It went on so fucking long.
I didn't watch the last episode. I'd lost interest by that point.
They go down a river, they escape, robot blows up, Baby Yoda does Force stuff.
Right.
Mandalorian reveals his name and takes off his helmet for a bit, and I think that was a mistake, but... You know, Dredd never took off his helmet in the good Dredd movie.
It's true. It's true.
Unfortunately, they never made a second good Dredd movie, but... I'm not really over that.
No, that's fine, though. That's fine.
Do you have anything to talk about today?
Oh, you mean Transformer-wise?
Yeah?
No.
Anything, really?
We've
Don't think so.
got very few minor stories, but yeah, it's lacking. We're back to this, guys. This is a light week, shall we say, once again. But we
Yeah.
do have mech fan toys, who we've talked about before in the past. They're doing the MS-24 Garbage Man, and he does it with a smile. Simpsons reference, rest of the song. This is obviously Wreck-Gar. He's a Legend Scale G1 toy. It's not based off of anything, obviously, because Wreck-Gar was, shall we say, for a G1 toy. It's apparently going to be 11 centimeters tall. It can do his robot mode and his weird Junkion bikey mode. Who knows? We may get redos and retweaks to have a Junkion set, but it just seems like this is what we got. No concrete information on release date, which is unsurprising at this time of the year, and there was stuff going on as usual. And I assume this is a CG model.
It looks like a CAD model, yeah.
Yeah, rather than a prototype. So, Mikey, the Junkion man who can, the Wreck-Gar lad. What do you think?
Everyone from me, I for everyone.
What? Oh, yeah, it's the little quote thing.
What?
Everyone for me, I for everyone.
All I can think of now is the Cubic song.
Robots
for everyone. Cubics.
I mean, if it's a reference that clearly neither you or I get.
I took it to a better place.
You did, yeah. I mean, a different place, but I'll just stick with different. I'll stick with different. I don't. Yeah, what do you think of the actual look of the figure, though?
It looks fairly solid.
Yeah.
The bike mode's weirdly dinky.
He's quite a plump little bike as well, isn't he?
Yeah, like no one's sitting on that.
Oh wow!
Nothing to hold on to.
No, I legend scale as well. So that's the difficulty with doing like a legend scale and a motorbike, and trying to keep the robot to have the usual animation accurate mass at least.
You could tie him to a larger figure's shoes and have him as a roller skate.
That would be depressing, wouldn't it?
But no, I think he looks solid enough. I mean, he looks fairly unremarkable, I'll be honest.
Mm-hmm.
It's just basically, it's a Wreck-Gar. The transformation might be clever.
It might be, yeah.
Might be. I'm looking at it, I can see a few little bits and bobs that make me think there may be a bit more going on, but that could be a tissue of lies.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
But, I mean, I want to see some physical pictures, I want to see a bit more, but he's not exciting me.
Do you think is it just the overall design, or is it? And if that's the case, is it because it sticks too close to Wreck-Gar, and that's just a design that never did it for you, or what do you think that might be?
I will say Wreck-Gar's design never did it to me, but I mean, there just doesn't seem to be anything particularly interesting about this figure.
You know how you make it better?
Make it his girlfriend from that one episode.
Oh, I was just going to say do the K-Zama design, but if you just do the K-Zama design of his girlfriend, whoever that works too.
God, what was her name?
I don't know.
But no, you have her, and then you have Wreck-Gar's head and a necklace.
Yeah, very fun, yeah.
And, oh man, Rummage. That was it, Ramage.
Ramage, that's it. Ramage.
Yeah, I don't know, it just doesn't look super interesting.
No.
It doesn't seem to be coming with any interesting accessories. Like I said, the transformation might have a few little bits and bobs, but again, doesn't look particularly complicated, or well engineered. It just looks like here's a very bog standard approach.
Yeah. Maybe it's because he doesn't have much of a silhouette. Maybe that isn't a big helper for him.
Yeah, that's there too.
Yeah. But if you're in the market for a little teeny Wreck-Gar, here he be. Or here he'll be coming at some point in the future. Maybe. Hopefully, in theory. Mikey, do you want to take us on to our next bit of news?
Yeah, it has been announced that the next movie masterpiece, MPM10, will be a redo of Starscream. Now, previously he was released under the masterpiece line in Japan, but that was just the leader toy re-released.
Yeah, from Revenge of the Fallen, if you think about how old that is. Jesus.
So this is a brand new mold. We get a stop-motion video that's voiced in English, and the video is really well done. Really, really well done. I bet that's, Counter 666? I'd put money down that was him who does it, because he tends to do a lot of the stop motion for Hasbro and Takara. Showing off a lot of features to this thing. It looks quite detailed. It looks very, very articulated within the scope of the articulation you'd expect from that Starscream design. But it's that Starscream design.
It is. It is.
So you do have to get past that first of all. But yeah, he's going to have 50 points of articulation, die-cast, highly posable hands, movable mount, missiles, buzzsaw arm attachments, and a Gatling blaster. So he is going to come quite packed with accessories. It also doesn't help that the movie Masterpiece line seems to be one of the most hit-and-miss lines out there.
Oh, really? In terms of what? In terms of quality
quality
control? Oh.
Quality design is a big thing with them.
Mm-hmm.
You'll have one, like, say, the way it seemed to go while these were getting a lot of attention was one toy would have a really solid design, and one would just have a badly engineered design. No one's talked about them in a good long while, so I don't know what the story is.
What was the last one that came out? Was it a Megatron?
I don't know, actually. I don't know. I'll look.
Yeah.
Because I haven't seen any proper talk about these since about Masterpiece 5.
Oh, wow.
So it's been, that's 5 figures away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So let's just see here if this will load. Masterpiece movie series. So technically the first one was MP1 Starscream.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, in 2010. So okay, so the last, yeah, I get like Jazz was the last one. Megatron and Jazz both came out.
Right.
So
of
it
course.
was so you had 3. Okay, so you had 2 releases in 2010, which were just leader toys. Then the as it is now, it started in 2017 with 2 releases, 2018 2 releases, 3 releases, 2019 2 releases, and Starscream. But like from what I understand, Optimus was a bit problematic. Barricade was decent. Ironhide was a problem.
Right.
Bumblebee was decent, and I haven't heard anything about Megatron or Jazz.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know what the line is going to be for Starscream.
No. Well, how do you think he looks? Do you think he looks?
He looks accurate, but and he looks well engineered. I just don't. Obviously, me and that designer are not in love with each other.
Sure. Yep.
But yeah, I hope it turns out well. I really, really do. I think with this, who's left from the first movie? Ratchet?
I was gonna say Ratchet. I don't think they've done. They've done
Ratchet,
Barricade,
Blackout, Bone Crusher, and Devastator.
No, they've done Blackout.
No, they haven't.
Did they? No, that was for the studio series. That's right.
He hasn't got a masterpiece. So
okay.
So you'd have 3 cons and 1 Autobot. Unless I'm forgetting an Autobot. Optimus, Bumblebee, Jazz, Ironhide. No, I think I'm right.
I think that's it. Yeah.
Bone Crusher, Blackout, Devastator. Yeah.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I think that's it. All those memorable characters.
Hey, Devastator's remember because no one could remember what his name was for ages.
Yeah, because it was Brawl and Michael Bay was like, no, his name's Devastator. It's like,
I like that name better.
Yeah, that was a weird time. Every movie was a weird time.
He also named his dog Bone Crusher, which is just creepy.
Yeah. It's not what I call my dog, but I don't have a dog, so I shouldn't really judge, I suppose.
No, you just like make people dress up as dogs. That's a different. But what
that's a different fetish, Mikey.
Yeah. Wear the ears. Wear them.
No, wear the tail.
Make it wag. Do you have any thoughts on it?
I think it definitely looks good. The accessories and the features, like he has the little moving mush, which is quite nice. His Gatling gun, he has his stupid chainsaw hand and stuff. Seems like he's fairly posable. I maybe would have liked him to have been a bit more metallic-y painted. Rather than... it doesn't look like it's just solid, like Hasbro grey plastic, but it maybe could have done with a bit more spice, a bit more silvery metallic-y spice to it, maybe? I don't know. But overall, it looks like... I would think I'd want a movie Starscream to be if I was so inclined to have a movie Starscream. Yeah.
In that case, take us on to our last bit of news.
San Diego Comic-Con's cancelled. Woo!
Yay!
Yay!
Yeah.
Don't think anybody's really surprised by that. Corona and all that kind of bobbins and jazz. It would have been held in April.
It's Jazz's fault, you say?
pretty much. The con would the con would have already been happened. It would have been on WonderCon Anaheim, which would have been held on April the 10th.
Yeah, because I knew WonderCon was cancelled.
Yeah, that makes sense. When's San Diego usually take place? August, isn't it?
Late summer.
Yeah. So there's no time to get guests or anything like that, and who knows if it's even possible and viable to do it by then. Not a huge surprise. I think I heard a rumbling say it might not happen next year either, but I think that's just a wait and see kind of deal rather than it's definitely never happening.
They can't, you cannot predict for next year. They're going to have to prepare for next year to actually, they're going to have to put it in, but they cannot predict what's going to happen next year.
No, exactly.
I'm up to date in the science, trust me on this.
So yeah, that's it. That's all the news, and surprisingly, because
there is one thing. Else. There's a line here, and I'm trying to figure it out.
Oh,
the historical WonderCon Anaheim tested, Comic-Con approved, toucan footsteps of RFID badges and exclusive portals, annual interest for attendees, blah 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 blah, might indicate the possibility of an online component launching. Blah blah. What is toucan footsteps?
I don't know. Is it a dance move? Legit, I don't know. I'm assuming.
Why are birds involved in this?
Mm.
Toucans don't walk a lot. They can't. They have big heads. So if anyone would like to explain that to me, please do.
Yes.
Any other news? Because I couldn't find an ounce.
No, we're pretty much done, unfortunately, because that's how it goes at the moment. But we can still talk about what we did this week and all that kind of fun bobbins and whatnot. And you've got a pretty meaty topic. I'm sure you'd like to cover since.
Well, yes, but I tried to cover it, but it keeps falling out.
I don't know. Is this a penis thing? This is a penis joke. Oh. Oh. What have you been doing this week, Mikey? What have you been up to? What have you done for fun?
Excuse me a second. I need a drink.
Mikey's squeaking.
I'm Marge Simpsoning.
You okay?
Give me a second. Oh, dear, you can't pay for that kind of comedy.
No, it's true. It's true.
You shouldn't either. But, right, what did I do this week? Technically not a lot. Technically not a lot. Caught up on a couple of shows, Digimon and Kamen Rider. I also, before I came on the show, I was making a list of mech shows to watch.
Specifically mech shows. Why specifically mech shows?
We'll get to that in a second.
Oh.
So Digimon wrapped up its opening arc, which was a pastiche of the Our War Game movie. Which is also like I said last week, the fastest piece of escalation in the franchise's history.
Okay.
They went from 0 to 100 in like 2 episodes. I have no idea where this story is going now. They have set up a little bit of a mystery as why events happen the way they did. But I don't know. I've no idea where this story is taking itself. I think this is probably the weakest episode of the 3. A little bit of an animation drop at times, despite the fact it was still pretty solid. And it felt a little bit rushed to introduce some new characters and go, okay, right, go, we're moving on to the main arc now.
Right.
So it's not losing my attention or anything. I'm just pointing out, the show has yet to sort of kick it up, and I am still a little iffy about it being so centered on Taichi. Something I really loved about the original show was the ensemble nature, and I'm hoping as more characters are introduced, it will spread the attention out a bit.
You think at the moment it's just kind of focusing on him, and then we'll slowly introduce the rest of them?
Because we're 3 episodes in, and he has physically met 4 of the other children.
Right.
Not including his sister. So that's he's met half the people. So clearly, it's from his perspective.
Right.
And he's a little bit too perfect hero at the moment as well.
Oh.
I have to say. Which is not something the character ever was. And I shouldn't be comparing it whatever. We all know the biases that can create. But again, one of the appeal of the character for me has always been he was not the perfect hero, no matter what he thought. So this feels like narratively it's aiming at a younger audience than the original show.
Oh, that's impressive, because like as far as I was aware, Digimon was already pretty...
Well, it was a kid show, but like I've said before, like they were not afraid to push buttons, and then they hit tamers and said like, "Ha! Out the window." Everyone's dead.
So is this going for more of the Pokemon kind of crowd then?
It feels like it's aware of the shows that have come out in recent years, like the new Zoids animes, like the Yu-Gi-Oh stuff that has kind of set the young anime standard and has set the bar a bit lower.
Right.
Because the Zoid show was a perfect example of that, because they went from being these cartoony war movies basically to being a Yu-Gi-Oh show with Yu-Gi-Oh-esque character designs and Zoids. Now, the new series of Zoids, I haven't checked it out. It's using the same Zoid models, but the characters have been redesigned to look more normal, relatively. So I probably will check that out at some point, just because I'm curious if the writing's changed. But so Digimon, it's 3 episodes in. You can't of what's likely a 50 episode run. So
damn, you think it's going to be a 50?
Yeah, like
Wow.
I definitely think it'll aim for the 50.
Do you not think they'll split it into like 2 seasons?
Possibly.
Is that what you mean? Because that seems to be how the anime seasons work out. In this day and age.
But again, we're looking at the age group they're targeted at, and they tend to have more of the big bulky runs.
Okay.
Like Dragon Ball was a perfect example of that, because it just basically went non-stop until it came to the end of the story. 01 feels a little bit like it's not sure what to do with itself now. It wrapped up the tournament arc.
Oh, that's disappointing.
I think it's just like, okay, they're setting up some cool stuff. Like there's an interesting character brought in called Naki, who I think could be very, very cool if they do the right stuff with them.
Yeah.
Just have to do the right stuff. And they're setting up some stuff where you've got basically 3 factions now, some of which have overlapping goals, some of which don't. None of them should really be trusting each other. And they're now a lot more open about the fact that Humagears have gained sentience, which I'm really glad about, because it's adding a bit more character to them. But it's like we're having nice moments, and then kind of spinning our wheels a bit to get to those moments. There's an overarching concept in the last few episodes of the idea of making someone into a tool for your own benefit. Whether you're talking about humans or the Humagears or whatever. And the word tool is used a lot, and how people perceive it, and some people accept the idea that they might be tools, some people resist it. And I like that as an arc thing. It's just, it feels like we're spinning the wheels a bit because we have something else coming up next.
Oh, it just feels like it's filling in time before the next kind of
a little
plot.
bit. Like,
okay.
we need to break up a few relationships and fill out a few characters, and then we will move on. Unfortunately, Jin is still the worst actor of the crowd, and he is getting a bit more airtime than I'd like.
Oh, right, okay.
But he's better than he was, but he's still his line delivery is just the weakest. But like, still a good show. Still, like, I'm being critical because the show has earned it's been good enough that you can be critical. Like there are 2 kinds of criticism in fiction, in my opinion. The ones where it's just so bad that you just have to tell it off, and where something is so good or has been good enough that you can say, like, sometimes you drop the ball.
I would agree with that, yeah.
I also watched 2 episodes of an anime called Listeners, which is a new mech show from MAPPA. Looks like it's being animated by the same crowd who did Shingeki no Bahamut. Basic story, the world is full of monsters called Irreless, and there's these people called players who fight them using mechs disguised or semi-functioning as radios.
Yeah.
So it's very music-based, this show. Guy working in a scrapyard in a town where basically the motto is work and don't look up. Finds a girl who turns out to be one of these players. She has no memory. They get into a scrape. They have a mech, and they leave his town to try and find out what her story is. First episode I thought was quite good. It's a good setup episode. It lays out the characters fairly well. The mech design is nothing I would call my favorite, but the fight is fairly well done. Despite the fact that the Earless are basically shadows. So they're not the most engaging enemies, you know?
I get you.
Then episode 2 I thought was quite weak. It just sort of... They were on a train and then someone who might have been bad showed up.
What do you mean might have been bad?
I don't know, their whole thing... They're of like the players, maybe there's something more. The players are secretly the ones who are the most afraid of the earless, was the thing. And the three semi-villains, I'll call them, were introduced who were like enjoyably hammy. But it felt like they were trying to introduce a mysterious plot element that they didn't handle well.
Oh, okay.
So I do want to see the next couple of episodes. But yeah, and like very little mech stuff in this.
Oh.
TV, I'm still plowing away at DS9. I'm on to season 7.
Oh, you're pretty much by the end now.
Yeah, on the Ezri stuff now, which is always a bit of a struggle for me. I've never been crazy about the character.
Like, what do you mean the Ezri stuff?
Like
I mean her focused episodes, because I didn't mind the one on the mining planet. I thought that was a fairly okay episode.
Haven't hit that one yet. But like the last one I had was the one where she's having the serial killer talk.
Oh, the one where
Duran.
we both are like, yeah, that's not great.
Duran, no. Yeah, you must think like it's character profiling, which you shouldn't do.
Yeah,
like it's a very flawed piece of psychology, by the way, that has gotten innocent people arrested and killed.
It's also kind of weird that Duran changes. I mean, he only appears like 3 times in the show.
Yeah,
and
but
3 times in very different seasons. But
like,
he sounds so different from the very first time you see him. I mean, it's a different actor, but that's like fair enough, whatever. But then when he possesses Cisco, that's super different. That's James Avery just going nuts.
Like the first one is kind of like he murdered someone, he lost control, and they never really delved into was he a psychopath or a sociopath.
Yeah, then James Avery takes over. It's like no, he's fucking mental.
Yeah, Avery Brooks is like, come to me, Jadzia.
Oh, you're just a pretty little girl. But that's all you are.
Not worthy of the noble creature nestled inside you.
Take that strength. Let me help you.
There's actually, when I rewatched it, I realized there's a very good bit, you know, where he's like bashing his head off the force field and like, take control, and it's like, that's enough of Duran.
Yes.
And it's a trick.
Yes.
If you actually listen to the performance, he's speaking the same way Duran speaks.
Hey, yeah, I noticed that as well. I was like,
that's enough of Duran.
But it's only very... Maybe it's because there's just not enough there for you to catch it unless you're really listening for it.
Yeah, and then like when he switches to himself, it's just like, stop hitting me, woman!
Bitch, what are you
doing? But yeah, also there's this... What season 7 is like, has a very interesting approach to arcs. I haven't hit it yet, it starts off relatively standard and then it becomes one long narrative. But one thing I'm not looking forward to is the whole Worf Ezri thing, because I lost patience with that on my 3rd rewatch of DS9.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of makes sense, but you're like, come on, I don't want to see the will they, won't they, and there's a lot of that. Yeah, and it
just makes Worf seem kind of scummy at times and makes Ezri seem kind of scummy at times. Neither character comes off well.
No. But I suppose you could argue it does kind of keep in the Dax logic, because it does happen with the episode where Dax does the gay with her previous was it her previous wife? Or the symbiote that was they were married. The 2 symbiotes had been in a relationship together in the previous one.
Yeah, so their hosts were married.
Yes,
and then. Because we couldn't have the hosts were gay. No. that would be crazy.
No.
Of these 2 women were married in the past in space.
To be fair, though,
we can have them be gay in the fat way that they're both in female bodies now, which also means they're semi-trans. The 90s Star Trek with homosexuality and LGBTQ issues and stuff was hilarious. But it was still way ahead of everyone else.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think we should throw rocks, because it's it was the most progressive stuff at the time.
Like, I actually think it was really well handled in that episode, because no one cared.
No, exactly.
No one said it. No one went, you do realize you're both girls. People just like, oh, it's a shame that 2 people in love can't be together.
To be fair, in DS9, gay relationships are never treated as a crazy thing. Like the episode with the female Ferengi, the thing that shocked Jadzia more wasn't the fact that a male Ferengi fell in love with Quark. It was, holy shit, a female Ferengi's offside Ferengana and wearing clothes and doing business and doing really well for herself. That's the crazy stuff. Not because she couldn't do it, but because it was so fucking unusual for that to ever happen. But then you find out it seems to be more common than anything, as Moogie does it all the time. It's like, God damn it, Moogie.
She's a terrible person.
Moogie, yeah, she makes
awful.
Quark's life terrible.
And he doesn't deserve it.
Well,
He doesn't. There are things he deserves, but she takes it way too far.
She doesn't. Yeah.
So I'm plowing with that anyway. I've also bought and received some model kits.
Oh, you've received them.
So I found an Irish online store that works out of Ireland and will deliver in Ireland and has the full range of stuff. It's got Gundams, Digimon, Majin Geyser, Frame Arms Girls.
You should buy one of them.
I nearly did. I nearly bought the Gao Geiger.
Why didn't you?
Well, it was on sale as well.
Well, hang on. I was gonna, and then it was on sale. So why didn't you buy it, Mikey?
Because it's breast move.
That's the best bit.
The breast move so that she can do heaven and hell.
Well, they'd have to.
I watched it. Apparently there's going to be a whole subline of these. Like, Ex-Kaiser's already been, like, teased.
It was shown off a while ago.
Mm. And, like, they have a base girl. Like, the other frame arm girl stuff looks fairly normal for people wearing giant armor and stuff, but it's just... Why? I don't know. It's hard for... It was one of those moments I was just saying, like, it's got Gao Gar in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Gao Gar. And I had it in the box for a while. I'm just like, you know what? I could explain Nicey. I could get away with Nicey because she's a robot.
Okay.
That's a girl in robot armor. And people are going to ask questions I don't want to answer.
The shame questions.
The shame. But so they've got a few Zoids, they've got loads of stuff, and they're in Ireland. They've got cheap shipping, and their prices are actually pretty reasonable. So also I had some money spared up, so I went onto eBay and I purchased. They're not being shipped for a while. I got messages saying like, because we're in Japan, we're holding off shipping for a week or two.
Yeah, if you didn't know, everybody sells pretty much down across the board, unfortunately. Yeah.
So I got the order in for War Greymon, so he will.
Hey. Actual order or back order?
Actual. Like, they confirmed he's in stock, it's in a box, it's just waiting to be shipped.
Okay, that's good.
And the HMM Zoid Genosaur bone color from the Dinosaur Expo for last year, I got that. So that's going to be my Zoids experience. And then I watched a very, very well edited, weirdly musical build of the Liger Zero.
Ah.
Like, weirdly musical.
What do you mean musical?
Basically, it's just the guy clipping and then putting stuff together, and it's all snap, 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 snap.
Oh, right. Okay,
really well done. There's a tune in there. There's genuinely a tune. I'll send it on to you at some point because he does Gundams and other stuff. It's worth watching at least one video. And this is going. Yeah, the Genosaur is going to be the biggest kit I've ever built, and it's going to be my leap into big kits. So what I got the package from, it's Hobby Frontline, if anyone's interested. They'll do the UK as well. They, and like at really reasonable prices, and they'll do back orders and stuff as well for any figure that's not in stock at the moment. So I ordered the Motoroid Majin Kaiser Skull. I wanted to get the Majin Kaiser Arms, which is kind of based on Majin Kaiser with gigantic guns. But that's only available on back order, and like at the moment they can't order it in, so I can't order it in, you know?
Okay, yeah.
I and the other thing I got was I wanted to try a proper Gundam kit. I've said it before, since I started these little minor ventures into model kits, I wanted to try a proper Gundam kit, so I got the 144 HGUC Crossbones X1 Kai Custom 2.
Yep.
Which is... Apparently the Crossbones Gundams are rather small in fiction.
Yeah. The idea in the universe is that Gundams progressively got bigger and bigger, and then the next kind of technological advancement was to make them smaller and better fuel efficient, and then faster.
Yeah.
So they get really big and then they start getting really small, and the Crossbones is like really small.
Yeah, so Crossbones is based on a manga, which is apparently the single most requested manga in the world to be adapted into anime.
Look at the designs for the Crossbones, Mikey.
Mm.
Can you see a reason why people would like that?
So Crossbones is one of those things that make me look at, because I also started looking into other Gundam stuff during the week, because like I was looking into the academic side of it, because there's an entire university for Gundam in Japan.
Really?
There are a research institute or something.
Oh,
and like people write papers on them and everything else, and like to be blunt, the sheer arrogance and up your own arseness about some of the people writing about Gundam. Not all the people writing about Gundam, but some people writing about Gundam is hilarious.
I mean,
like someone wrote an article about how G Gundam betrayed the very function of the franchise. They must love the Build series. Crossbones is one of those things where just looking at it, I'm just like, the story must just be like the most political thing, because if I saw this, I would not be thinking like morally grey, realistic, real robot war stories.
No, some of them aren't.
Because the Crossbones is a pirate.
Yes.
There are 3 Crossbones. This is a repaint. There's X1, X2, X3. The one I've got is a repaint of the X3 into the X1, because I looked into it. There's a whole narrative. There's like 6 variants of the X1. And he's got a skull and crossbones on his chest and on his hat.
Mm-hmm.
And he has a sword, which is a proper pirate cutlass. He shoots anchors. He's got a crossbow, which is an anchor, etc., etc., etc. I've said before, I have problems finding Gundam designs I like. This was one of the ones I kind of had to try, and it was a good price as well. Although apparently, it was €30 shipped, but it's a premium Bandai, so they must have had this for a while and just never sold it.
Yeah, it's been out for a good long time, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah. So I haven't. They're sitting outside at the moment in quarantine. I'll probably bring them in tomorrow, or the day after. But that has led me to go down a dark road of checking about every website I could find that did model kits of any kind, which includes what I sent Andy a few days ago, which was the Penis Dragon, which is a model kit of a girl. You can get an SFW version and an NSFW version. It was so bizarre I had to send it to someone, and Andy's the only person I know I could get away with without people asking me, so have you bought it? No, I haven't fucking bought it. Like, however I felt about the Gao Gaigar thing, like, you could not convince me. But, like, I was looking into the Gao Gaigar mini plas, which are very reasonably priced.
For the most part, some of them are anyway. Some of them aren't.
Also, I looked into the Tenryujin one. I didn't realize the Tenryujin figure got around everything by basically just giving you every form as an individual figure. Yeah,
they kind of... I still haven't got it, and obviously with stuff going on at the moment, won't be able to get it for a while, but they did, in my opinion, kind of cheapen out on it.
The thing is,
it's reasonable. It makes sense why they did it.
They are limited by physics, would be my answer to that.
Totally.
Like, because those characters were never designed to be a toy.
No, clearly.
Yeah. But, you know, Genesik is actually quite reasonably priced as well at the moment. If I wanted to get them, Gridman, like I was looking at the Gridman. I'm not crazy about the combined Gridman. But
you mean OG or SSSSS?
SSSS.
Okay.
And I'm just like, well, all I need is the main Gridman, because then he can go with a Grid Knight, and I could get a Grid Knight. Like, it's been a dark road. I've ended up going into like third-party Gundam stuff. Like, I've been looking at different Gundam designs. Like, there's a few from Build Fighters I kind of like one's called Justice Knight.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's like there's third-party Gundam, which I didn't think would be a thing.
Oh yeah,
which apparently gets shut down a lot, but then gets restarted.
Yes. Yeah,
and there's these really well done kits for Wing, for Gundam Wing, like the kind of like the Shenlong especially is gorgeous, and they're only about €60.
Yeah.
Also, the same guys who did a third-party kit for a Zoid design that never got a high-end kit, which is the Murasame Liger. Which is a design I really, really like. So I'm just... And then there's all the other figure lines as well. Like, I spent like a day going through Hobby Frontline's whole catalog and just like, oh, they've got that, they've got that, they've got that, they've got that. I mean, Yeah. I'm going down a dark road, Andy. A dark, possibly expensive road.
Yeah, it depends what kind of model kits you go for, I suppose. But
Well, yeah. Another
they
reason
can
to
be
go...
quite fun to build.
Yeah.
And at the moment, we've got time on our hands for the most part.
Yeah.
Well, most people do.
I was just looking at the HIRM God Gundam.
Oh, the high resolution one.
Yeah, you're expensive looking, but you look fun.
Yeah, I sent you the pictures of him, and I did warn you that it's a weird hybrid of an action figure.
Yeah, because it's got a core,
kit.
a base core, and then you build around that.
That's right. It's meant to be really good. Like,
yeah,
no
I watched
doubt.
a review of it. And it's just like, I've watched so many Gundam videos in the last couple of days.
Oh, who did you watch?
I found a guy. He's Irish.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. I was going to ask, is
Mecha something?
Yeah,
Mecha
yeah.
Geico.
I watched him. He's good.
He's from Dublin, I think, by the sounds of it. But
did you spit when you found out you're Dublin?
Well, you just cut to his friend and just like, oh, boy, there, now the Gundam now. No, he's got the BMC about. That BMC about, boy, will cut through it like shite. Oh, it's fucking fantastic. Like that. If I ever do a review of Gundam, that's the voice I'm putting on for the whole fucking thing.
Please don't.
Oh yes,
please don't.
He's a fucking pirate.
I was actually gonna suggest like you should go and find his house because I mean it's easy enough for you to do so.
Yeah, but at the moment I would if I could, but I can't travel right now.
That's true. You can only go like the 2 kilometers or something like that, if I remember.
And I stick to that religiously.
As a single tear goes down your cheek.
But yeah, so model kits like that Majin Kaiser one. Like, I don't even like Majin Kaiser Skull as an anime.
Oh god, do you remember how disappointed we were when we saw it?
Because it looked cool.
It looked ace, and there was
then it was shit.
There was nothing there.
But the takeaway, the skull design is cool.
Yes, definitely.
So I'm happy with the toy. I'm happy to have a kit of that design, and apparently the Motor Road stuff is real top notch. But my god, that anime!
It exists.
Oh, it was so shite.
Yeah.
But apart from that, most of my week, when I'm not trying to find something productive to do, has been kind of lost. As I finished Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Oh, were you absorbed into the live stream?
well, I woke up one day and realized that I'd basically gone to bed to wake up to play it. After going to bed at 5 o'clock in the morning. I got about 50 something hours into it.
I thought you were going to say 50 hours sleep. I was going to say, that's impressive.
But yeah, I'm also now thinking about, at some point in the next few weeks, restarting it and playing it again, either on hard, just to see how that is, or just on normal, because I really, really like the game.
Were you not playing it on normal to begin with?
I was. Never.
Okay.
There's other difficulties, never touched them. Normal is a good, solid difficulty to play that game at. Easy is ridiculously easy. Classic is a gimmicky thing that no one should play the game through as. Because basically your character is an autopilot until an ATB gauge is built up and you pick a command. But they're going to be doing stuff on the screen. It's like watching a movie.
Right.
So yeah. The main story generally follows the trend that you'd expect if you're familiar with the game. Red 13 is introduced about the stage he should be, but he's in the game a lot more than I was expecting. Like, to the end, because I was thinking, like, they're not going to try and build him up as a main cast member, you know?
Yeah.
Because he doesn't have time to really be one in the Midgar section of the first game. They do. By the end of it, he is treated as he's on par with these guys in terms of, like, these are a band of brothers kind of thing.
Hey.
And he's got some real good snarky lines, and there's one scene that absolutely made me wet myself with laughing. Also, they've got this whole thing between him and Barrett, which is fun because Barrett didn't have anyone to talk to apart from Cloud. Because everyone was pairing up. Because you had Aerith and Tifa were friends, and they were both always talking to Cloud. And Barrett was often like the last wheel of the thing, and now he's got Red and everything's good. But villains are. Well, Rufus is interesting. He makes a very brief appearance, but I like what they did with him. Hojo is fucking creepy. Like, really well done. Voice acting largely on point. Gameplay very solid. The boss battles are the cream of this game, and they are incredibly good fun. The last couple of boss battles in the game are some of the best boss battle experiences I've had, because they're ones where I felt intimidated and also felt like I am powering through this.
Okay.
There's also genuinely really like tear-jerky moments. I will not say whether or not I cried, but I do know people who did.
You were one of them, weren't you?
I will neither confirm nor deny. Like, it's a real experience, and I've been watching a few reviews and a few discussions since I finished a day or so ago. And well, also like I was playing a bit of the Coliseum feature to it, so I was playing that to like level everyone up, so everyone's at like maxed out level now. So when I go back and play, if I'm playing on hard, because I tried hard very briefly, I'm going to need those topped out levels, because holy shit.
Oh, okay.
It's a jump in difficulty.
You need to do one of those no hit runs.
Yeah, you've got a no item aspect to this, so you've got to really be careful how you're using your magic, because once it's gone, basically it's gone until you can do something about it. Because it regenerates, but it regenerates slowly. Also, you're in a hard mode. I suspect you're going to have to be very aware of what your weapon build is.
Probably, that makes sense. You're going to have to min-max.
How you really... Because, like, I've had weapons equipped, but, like, I've not been thinking, is this am I making this person an attacker, a magic user, defense, offense, what? So, yeah, if I was rating it, I heard it very well put today. If I was being super, like, as a critic, this game could be brought down to a 9 or maybe an 8.
Okay, why?
And if so, there's some puzzle elements that are a bit tedious.
Right.
There's a couple of chapters that, when you really think about them, they go on a little bit too long, and they don't have any big narrative moments. They're there filling a space between A and B.
You feel that they could have and maybe should have been shortened down, potentially.
Shortened down or added more story elements into them. Sometimes, like, the combat against normal grunts can be a little bit too easy.
Okay.
That didn't bother me, but again, I'm trying to be super critical. There were some texture issues, but I think that's going to be patched, so I'm not worried about that. Overall, it was fucking gorgeous. Now, if someone said they're dropping it to a 7 or a 6, I'm going to say they're probably crazy. But, like, because like, I'm thinking of this, like, a lot of Western players are coming into this from the worlds of Skyrim and Fallout and Outer Worlds and how they see an RPG. And this is a linear experience without a lot of exploration, with very focused on the story. There's no self-insertion. The romance element is there, but it's very specifically limited. There's none of the good choices, bad choices. All your choice, like, you make choices, but they're not moral choices. They're personal choices, you know?
Yeah.
You can't take this game in any direction you want. The game is on rails. And for a lot of people, if you're coming into it from the modern Western RPG stand, that's a very strange thing, you know?
Yeah.
So, now, that said, having had time to settle it in on myself, and to have my personal rating, and to approach it as someone who rates the original game as one of his top 2 games of all time, this is probably... It might be a week or two before I'm 100% certain on this, but this is probably my favorite game. Ever. I think it took an amazing story with wonderful characters and made it better. And then it pulled something that absolutely blew my fucking mind that I wish to Christ I could talk about. Because it is such a huge thing that has blown my mind and will have me thinking on stuff for months, let alone, like... And from what little I've looked into, because I am not delving into conversation online with strangers on this, because holy crap, that'll be fun.
You've made that mistake before in the past, and you've learned from it.
Yeah. I would say if you want to see a really good discussion of it, Maximilian Dude on Twitch did a very good review video where his spoiler section delved into a lot of this stuff.
How long was it? It was an hour one or something.
A few hours long, but you go in about an hour and he's in the spoiler section. So
sounds about right.
Yeah. There was just... I am... Having gone through the end of the game makes me so much more excited for the next game than I thought I ever would be. I want to see where this goes. I desperately want to see where this goes. And I'm saying this as someone who has played the original game probably 15 times. And we'll probably, because of all this, play it again in the next few weeks. Or next few months, I genuinely recommend this game to anyone who wants to play a good narrative-driven action RPG with a good combat system that is well thought out and is made with an almost sickening amount of love. Like, there is no cynicism here in the amount of love given to this. There's no blinking, there's no winking. This game was made by people who give a shit. And I hope they continue to give a shit. And I also hope it doesn't take another 4 years for the next game to come out. I hope they secretly...
Hopefully it won't be, because I would hope that they'd use a similar engine, but maybe they won't, and maybe they're making the next one for the next console, so it'll have to be on all new stuff.
Yeah, but it also could be like they could have been working on it for a while now or something.
Yeah, who knows?
But like, there's also like, are they going to go properly open world next game? Are they not? I now can concretely say I can see how they can get the game done in 3 games.
Mm-hmm.
So I do not think this is going to turn into a 4 or 5 game franchise, but I can see it. I've heard people compare it to Final Fantasy 15. Those people can kindly jump in a ditch.
I was going to say, that's a pretty insulting.
From whenever someone says they like Final Fantasy 15, I do a lot of head tilting, especially when they say they like the story. Basically, it's kind of like those owls that look shocked.
Oh yes.
Because I hate that game. That game's story is, in my opinion, the single worst Final Fantasy story. And I'm including 13 in that, and I have no great love for 13 or 12. Like, I like.
What about X2?
I didn't mind the gun dress system.
It's a weird game.
It's a weird game, but it was very Japanese, which is fine. Like, it was like 8 has its problems, 9 has its problems, 10 has its problems, but the basic narratives from those all work, in my opinion.
Sure.
10-2 is just weird, but it's harmless weird. 12, 13, and 15 have severe narrative problems, and also severe gameplay problems.
They were the games, I can't remember, which was the one with Vaughn? Was that 12?
12, yeah.
Yeah, that was the one. That was my last like proper Final Fantasy game. That was the one that killed it for me, where I was like, nope, no more. I'm done.
Yeah, that was the game where they started making one game, and someone came along and said he's not pretty enough, and they made a new character who was, but they never changed the story to include him. And then they sort of went, well, he's an observer, he's representing you, and just like, it's a Final Fantasy, I don't want to represent me.
Yeah,
I'm not involved in this. There, but yeah. And seriously, I've reached out to a few people, and some of them are going to be finished soon enough. And God, finish soon, because I have so much I want to say. I did a very short video with some spoilers in it on YouTube just to get it out. But now it's all settled, and my brain is literally on fire. Like, I can't even say... I'm trying desperately not even hint at stuff. Not even stuff that I know was in the original game. Stuff I know is new to this game, whatever, because... if you can experience this game as raw as possible, do it.
I'd be interested to know how many people, there's no way of knowing. There's no way of knowing the percentage of how many people who've never played Final Fantasy VII are playing this game versus how many people are returning.
I know it's doing very well with new people.
That's good.
Because it's the biggest game of the year so far. It's probably the biggest game of the year.
Yeah.
And like Resident Evil 3 was the only game that had as much publicity, and that game that lost a lot of its stuff. Like Final Fantasy's reviews have been 80s, 90s, 100s, 8, 9, 10s.
Yeah.
So people are really like the overall media is really satisfied with it, which means people will be really satisfied with it because they trust their critics, which does their business.
Yeah. Well, with Resident Evil 3, the thing I've generally heard was that should have been DLC or an expansion for Resident Evil 2, and it kind of it seemed like either Resi 2 got too big and it had to be cut. But I mean, the fact that it came out so soon.
I seems to me, from what I've learned about it, is that someone on the Capcom side of things really wanted to capitalize on the popularity of RE2, and that game got rushed out.
I'm not surprised. That's why it was clearly bundled with this weird Resident Evil game that no one wanted.
Yeah,
the multiplayer thing.
Yeah,
no one wanted that.
That looks bad.
Yeah, it's apparently not great, and I'm not surprised. It didn't look great, at least in my eyes.
Like RE3, like when I watched playthroughs of it, it felt rushed to me, and then I realized that stuff was cut out, and it's just like, you just wanted to get in on like the hype this was a hype train moment. Someone made an error in this. But yeah, like, God, I have so much I want to say about this game, and I can't say it. Because there's an hour or two talking about the ending of this game.
Oh, okay.
There's a day or two if you want to go into it properly, but there's at least a couple of hours of discussion in just the ending of this game.
You did put in a pre-order for Final Fantasy related products as well.
Yes, I did. They're not going to be out until like July or August in the Western release, but they're also way cheaper to buy them this way, so I was like, fuck it. But I've got the Polygon figures, the little statuettes.
Desk toys. Perfect computer desk toys.
Perfect. It's an 8-pack with a mystery figure who everyone knows who it is. But who is it? It's Cloud, Tifa, Barrett, Aerith, Red, Reno, and the mystery figure. Who's Cloud?
Yes.
It's not a mystery. Everyone knows it's Cloud in a dress. So I won't worry about that for a while, but yeah, it's a 10 out of 10 rating for me. I've really settled on that. I want to go back and play it again, and probably the only thing that's going to stop me is I'm going to like, don't saturate yourself on a good story. Take your time and come back to it later on. Like,
yeah, you don't want to weigh yourself out on it. That'd be a bummer. And you've got other things to play as well, I suppose.
Oh yeah, I've got a few. Yeah, I'm sure I do somewhere.
Yep.
I've got things to build, I suppose. Can you do those while you're playing games?
If you have more arms or clones.
Don't talk to me about clones. I just finished Final Fantasy. No. Yeah, that's basically been my week. But yeah, my lifetime recommendation is to give that game a go.
Your lifetime recommendation.
My lifetime recommendation is to give that game a go. And also, be careful when you buy model kits, because you're going to fall down a dark road and just be like annoying your friends with too many messages and saying like, I found these things! I wasn't interested in them, but now I'm kind of cool.
Who were you
I
annoying?
don't care about you mostly, if you check your Twitter messages.
Yeah, no, I saw. I wasn't annoyed. I just was like, okay.
Because I don't care about Gundam Wing, but I do kind of want that Shenlong with the weird arms.
Well, here's the thing. They've got good designs.
Some of them do. As I said, it takes me a while to find them, but when I do find them, they do look good, and I just, I'm glad I started with a cheap kit of the smaller sizes.
Oh, yeah.
Like, nice, simple build. Get an idea for how Gunpla works. That
exactly.
Isn't based on a bear.
Yeah, I would never recommend someone who's never done a model kit. I would never say, like, go for a master grade. It's like, no, that's too much, too quick. You want to start off with a basic one and then work up from there.
Yeah, but a lot of Barbados. Like,
it's popular.
Weird. Yeah, that design. That's one of those designs I was kind of into for a couple of months and then really fell out of love with.
There's not that much Barbatos design, to be fair. There's like an HG kit, a high grade kit, and then a 1-100 kit. And that's it. It's only 3.
Yeah, but I'll tell you, I'll probably be going to, like, when everything's up and running again, I'm definitely making a run to Dublin under the guy. Oh, I'm going to the museum, and I'm just going to spend a whole day in Forbidden Planet's model kit section.
Oh no, not Forbidden Planet.
Now, I will say the Dublin one isn't expensive.
Oh, that's good. That's something.
Like,
and almost surprising. I almost feel like you're lying.
It's the only Forbidden Planet I've been in where they have collectibles that are not ridiculously priced, but only the model kits.
Okay.
Everything else is ridiculously priced.
That's weird. I wonder why they're just the model kits then.
Don't know. But they do have like a whole wall of Evangelion kits, and it angers me.
Yeah.
Like, what do you want, Screaming woman monster in armor? What do you desire?
To be fair, a lot of people like Evangelion. It's mainly just us.
The designs are fine. The designs are fine. Not mainly just us, I will say. We are just like the loudest we know. There are plenty. But the designs are fine. Some of them are quite good, but I hate that series so much, I sometimes hate the designs by accident.
Oh, wow.
Andy.
Mikey.
Did you do anything this week?
Not a huge great deal, just the usual working and whatnot. Did I finish Bloodborne last week? Did I say that?
You didn't say that. You were still putting up playthroughs last week.
Well, then I'm done. I finished all of Bloodborne. I finished my playthrough. All of the episodes are up on my YouTube channel. It's done, and dare I say, dusted. I can do like one bonus episode where I go through the game again, but only record the boss fights that I missed with the character I've simply named as the Gentleman. The Gentleman is a handsome man who you will all see one day, hopefully. Apart from that, I've just been kind of cracking on with Buffy kind of going in the background while I've been doing other things. Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It's okay. It's not an amazing show. It's not DS9, but it's like, yeah, this is fine. This is an okay show. I would say, because it is in that kind of teen demographic, I would say it's a lot better than the teen shows of today, i.e. the superhero ones. I'd say it's a lot better than that, even though sometimes the fighting choreography is a bit on the wonky side. Yeah,
I do remember it wasn't the best.
No, it's not. But, it's one of those things where you go, this is all right. It's all right. What else have I been up to, if anything of real note or value? We did a podcast. We did the comic show yesterday. That was something we did. That'll go up at some point once Mr. Mikey gets me the track. Yep. I assume that'll probably be tomorrow. So this podcast you'll hear on Monday first, and then the comic show I'll try to get out either on Tuesday or Wednesday, I hope. Yep. For the Patreon people, of course, and then a week later it'll be for everybody. Whee! Have I done anything else? I really don't think I have, because obviously I haven't got anything, because there's nothing to get. Everything's closed. I got food, but I need that to live, so that's good.
But Andy, if you bought from hobbyfrontline.com, you could get loads of things in your post.
Could I? Did they deliver from Ireland to the UK?
They do.
Do they? Oh.
Yeah.
Do they have Iron-Blooded Orphans kits? Because I don't think they actually do.
I'm going to see.
If they do, the only one they'll probably have is the Barbatos, the Master Grade one, I would assume. I got back onto watching DS9, so the episode I watched last night was a really good one. It was Ship Down, I think it was, the one where they get the torpedo in the Defiant.
Oh yeah, that's a great episode.
That's a super good one, and you got Cisco and Kira talking about how, hey, we've never actually had a conversation that isn't work-related. And then at the end of the episode, Cisco uses his religious power and workplace authority to demand that Kira goes to a baseball game with him, even though she probably hates it.
I am your Jesus, come with me.
Yeah, that's how I took it. It's totally not the context of that conversation, but I imagine Kira's like, I hate the holodecks. This has been established in previous episodes.
Oh yeah,
I don't like the holodecks, and I don't think. Well, I've been to a baseball game, and I know how fucking dull that is. No offense, people who love baseball, but I fucking loathe it. And so I'm just like, I don't want to do this, Captain. But then I also had the image that Cisco demanded this from everyone. Like everyone on his team, on the station, had to go to one baseball game with the captain.
I think everyone is forced into that, yes.
Yeah, I would say so. I wouldn't be surprised anyway. So that's it. Unfortunately, that's all I've really been up to this week. I wish I had something more fun and entertaining to talk about, but that's just the way things go at the moment, peeps. Mikey, where can people find you on the internet if they wanna?
You can find me on Twitter as Irish Paleo, and you can send me email at themoonbase2@gmail.com, and you can send us other contacts via all our other means that we tell you every single week. And I'm trying to mix it up, so that's why I'm not telling you again, because Andy will do it anyway. So yeah, send us any feedback you've got, guys. We'd love to hear it.
Yeah.
And even if we don't respond to it, sometimes we are reading it.
It's true. We're always reading the messages that we get. So you can find me on Twitter as CCTFW, YouTube as Cobra Commander TFW. You can find me on the find us on the Moonbase 2 forums, on Twitter, iTunes, Facebook, Libsyn, on YouTube as Moonbase 2 Transformers Podcast, and you can head over to patreon.com/Moonbase2 and get the extended version of From the Files of Talatron 2. It also comes a week early. You also get interviews a week early when Mikey gets them done. And sent over, then I can put it up and you can get that.
Yeah, I'm nearly done.
And you also get the Moonbase Woo Woo, where we talk about weird stuff. Fun stuff that's weird. And you can also head over to ccbunker.weebly.com. Oh, the podcast that I did with George on Bloodborne is up, and that's on the ccbunker.weebly.com as well, if you want to go and check that out, where me and Mr. George have a little natter about ye old bloody of the Bornies. So that was quite fun. Right, Mikey, thank you for joining me this week for, no news, effectively, but that's not really a huge shock at the moment. And until next week, everybody, I will catch you, and Mikey will catch you next time.